Welcome to a special edition of the Erik Whiskey Studies. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Ardbeg Very Young Exclusive Committee Reserve for Discussion Single Malt Islay Scotch Whiskey. It was distilled in 1997, bottled in 2003. So this was a bottle that I got at auction. Scott and Bart from Scotch Test Dummies had a colleague who was diagnosed with cancer, and so they were doing a fundraiser to raise funds for the family, and a number of people donated items. And Ardbeg, you may know him from the discussion in the chats during live streams, he donated this bottle, and I bid on it and won it. However, Ardbeg is in the UK, so he gave it to Roy, and then in July 2019, when I met up with Roy, I got the bottle from Roy and brought it back home. However, I didn't want to just, review it, enjoy it on my own. I wanted to share it with Scott and Bart. So at the Bachelor's Ball down in Austin, Texas, I met up there with Scott and Bart and a number of other whiskey tubers. This is an event that was hosted by Daniel and Rex of the Whiskey Tribe and the Whiskey Vault, and we did an uncorking of this live. Now, I've said this many, many times. You don't really want to judge a bottle by a neck pour because they tend to open up more and develop more and show themselves more as you work past the shoulder. So after doing a neck pour live with Scott and Bart, I then shared it with a number of people at the event, and I had about a third of a bottle left. So I poured 2 5-ounce pours in bottles and sent those to Scott and Bart, and I've still got this much left. So I thought I'd do another review and share how much it has changed in its opening up and getting down to the bottom of the bottle. So I'm going to provide at the end of this video information, as well as in the description box below, more information about how you can support fellow follow officers and particularly the family of Matt Young. Alrighty. But before I get into this whiskey, here are my notes. Ardbeg Very Young for Discussion Committee Release, Islay Single Malt Scotch 2003 edition. This release is from some of the first distillate under the ownership of Glenmorangie plc. It was distilled between June 25th, 1997 and the first week of August 1997. It's bottled on the 12th of November 2003, is aged about 6 years. Alcohol by volume is 58.9%. The bottle size is 70 cl. The cask type was first fill. They produced 4,002 bottles. The initial cost was around £25. Secondary today is between £520 in the UK to $942.65 in the United States. Alrighty. So visually, it's sort of a bright, shiny, golden green in color. There's just a slight tinge of green in there on the nose. Pronounced aromas. It smells Ardbegian. If you're really familiar with Ardbeg, it has a very distinctive character, and that's definitely in here. Lemon and lime. Lemon meringue. Sort of a lime popsicle or ottersicle when we used to get when we were kids, or if you've ever had margarita mix without the tequila, just smell and taste margarita mix. I kind of get that. Chocolate, loads of smoke, but really interwoven really well. Hint of salty sea breeze. There's a little bit of a nuttiness, sort of like the interior part of a Snickers bar. Layers of chocolate and nougat. There's a slight, this is probably the typical Ardbeg. Bart and Scott describe it as sort of a mud character to it. So if you've ever had, you ever done clay on a wheel and the wheel's spinning and you got to shape the clay and you get a slight kind of that clay aroma, there's a little bit of that in there as well. All right, on the palate. Wow. Wow. Going from memory, I would say everything is a lot more intense than when we did the uncorking. Of course, the setting and the noise and all the people there, that kind of affects affects your perception as well versus being alone in a quiet place, sitting in front of a camera. But from memory, it seems a lot more intense. It is really, really opened up really, really, really nice. The flavors are very distinct and sharp. I mean, it has a lot of impact on the palate, more than a lot of other Ardbegs. I'm looking at the alcohol again. Okay, 58.9%. That explains a lot. On the palate, the nose is confirmed. You get a lemon, lime, otter pop, or sort of a, that margarita mix character, but without the tequila in it. The smoke and chocolate and a little bit of nuttiness is interwoven really, really well with all the flavors. And on the back end, I get that sort of, if you breathe in and out, you still get the waft of the smoke there, as if you've been perhaps smoking a cigar or something there. And there's that earthy character on the back end as well. And this is actually from, I guess, like the early days of sort of the revival of Ardbeg. Really, really spectacular. True to Ardbeg and its character, very reflective of the distillery. And it's interesting when I'm thinking now through all the other Ardbegs, Ardbeg 10, the Corvette, the Ugadal, the Anoa, the Trevan, and all the other ones I've had, the Kildalton, the Supernova, and sort of putting it in the lineup of all these other Ardbegs. I'm going to give this, in terms of a score, I'm going to go a solid 93 points. A solid 93 points. This is absolutely superb. And I can't think of a more fitting whiskey, really, to honor someone than with a bottle like this. Alrighty, that's it for this review. If you subscribe to this channel, I want to thank you very much. If you haven't yet subscribed, but you like watching my videos, I would greatly appreciate it. If you would subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, share with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and other social networking channels. And as I said before, at the end of this video, there is information there on how to support fallen officers, including the family of Matt Young, and I'll put a link in the description down below. Cheers. To support the family of fallen officer Matt Young, check out thinblueline.org and designate your donation for the family of Matt Young. Hey, if you like my review, be sure to check out these other whiskey videos.